Okay, I need to put some new emotes in here. Let's see. I had a bunch of dances. Oh, I just bought this. I think I probably didn't need to buy it, but I bought it. Let's see. We haven't done. This one. We haven't done this one for a while, and I love this one. This one's like one of my favorites. Oh, Jay, hello, hello. Can you guys hear my voice? It's always a fun way to test it, see if it works. See if you can actually hear me. Usually I run away, so I'm gonna run away. Oh yeah, good. Hi Jay, you hear me? I'm gonna run away and come back just so I can get my stream. This is like my normal path. Usually up here, through the school buses, yeah, and then I can see it's going. It's so nice to have Miguel's scene right there, like, to help me test. Alright, so now I have a stream. That's just super helpful. So, grab your OP, everybody, if you haven't gotten your OP badge yet. Right down here. I already got mine. Sorry for the colliders. I just haven't fixed it yet. I need to fix it, but grab your badge. I already grabbed mine, so I can't claim it, but definitely if you're here today, make sure you grab that one. And we'll get started shortly. Hello, Mox. And Meg, Megalodon. Hello, hello. Lauren, Jay. Thanks for being here, friends. I'm excited about today. I think it's gonna be kind of cool, fun, busy. Gonna try to pack it all into an hour. So let me do my announcements. Let's see, what should I say? I should say something so, like, if you don't know Blender, if you're like a noob and you're like, I don't even know what Blender is, it's for like smoothies and margaritas. So I should just not say Blender. Want to learn how to build cool shit. No, family friendly. Build cool stuff in Decentraland. Click these blue numbers. Alright, that's simple. Like, if you didn't know Blender, you would understand the call to arms. 24. Right now, well, 5 minutes, but no, 1 minute. Okay. Add Argentina. Click these blue numbers to jump in. Sorry, you guys are listening to me. It's like hard to talk and write at the same time. Like, I have to narrate. Oh, blue bumbers. You could click bumbers, but I like numbers. Click these blue numbers to jump in and grab your OP badge. I love today's OP badge, guys. It's a waffle. I have a waffle agenda. I shall explain my plan. But only after world waffle domination. That doesn't roll off the tongue easily. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm having too much fun. Alright, so it is 9 o'clock. Check our stream. Hey, Ruston, welcome, welcome. Just gotta make sure it's all good. Looks like it is. All right, so if you have questions while we're going, I'll do my best. Well, it's so hard to come back to chat. So if you have questions, I'll like look through after and try to catch up. But otherwise, I always give people time at the end to ask questions. I do think today, like in my mind, I'm like, yeah, we can make this in an hour. But then I'm like, wait a second, like, yeah, but can you teach it in an hour? And that's it's a much different thing to actually create a thing and slow down enough to teach it. So again, my hope with these videos is that the content is just there on YouTube. It's always there to go back to. These are all posted on my YouTube channel. I probably should promote that more. It's I gotta figure out what it is. Canessa DCL1. Such a bad YouTuber. Canessa DCL1. All of these Builder Basic videos are there. I do have one I have to upload, but otherwise, like, they're all there listed very clearly in order. So if you're a brand new builder, you can go through, start at the beginning. I would suggest start at the beginning. You might find it's too slow for you. But a lot of the stuff we've done does kind of build on it each week. I guarantee if you do this, you will start understanding Blender. Can't say that you'll like totally get it because there's a, Blender is a giant beast, but you will get somewhere. All right, and also a lot of credit just to all the people who have taught me everything I know. Ruston, KJ Walker, Meta Tiger, Mr. JS Tickle, everybody else in between. Okay, and if you don't see the stream, reload or reload the scene. Thank you all for being here, and I'm going to just get going, jump right in, because today we are making a freaking waffle cart, you guys. We're going to make a waffle cart. I'm just going to wait and make sure my stream caught up. Why are we making a waffle cart? I will tell you. I have an idea, and I have an agenda, a waffle agenda. But for now, we're going to start with just kind of like, how would I build something from scratch in an hour? I'm going to try to keep it to an hour. Using textures. And so you can see right here I've got a waffle. I use AI a lot for the different textures that I'm going to put on my scene. So to save time, I already kind of got all of my pictures done ahead of time. And now what I want to do, just to save some of the requirements, I'm going to put them all into one picture. So I got my waffle, and I'm going to start putting stuff on here. You'll understand in once we get to like building. I'm just gonna select copy. So if you're like, okay, she's making a vision board and her vision board kind of sucks and she can't even remember how to paste. Yeah, that's true. But I think once we get there, it will become obvious what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna try to like put all of these things there. Now what I did when I found these images specifically, like using AI, some of them are like a color, some of them are a texture that I want to use, but all of these I'm going to use today. Ooh, look at this board, so pretty. I love AI. I used to take pictures of stuff. I know I've said it before. I used to try to get textures and oh my gosh, I was so fun on vacation because, everybody else is like on the roller coaster and I'm taking pictures of the texture of the roller coaster plastic. Like, I'm a ball of fun to be with on vacation. So thankfully with AI, I no longer have to be the weirdo trying to get pictures of all the textures. I can just be myself. I'm still taking weird pictures. Trust me. Okay. Now, one more texture I want is, I'm thinking for this waffle cart, no, not that. I'm thinking like cute street Parisian, I don't even know if it's Parisian or not, but I'm thinking like a cute street cart, like a waffle, a waffle street cart. So I'm gonna do, like the cute texturing of like striped patterns, I guess, basically. I want that, and I funny enough, that was actually hard. I couldn't get what I wanted from AI. I was like, none of it looks good. So I'm just going to do this real quick. I'm just going to make a simple, drag and drop, paste. And you'll see I'm using like the lowest tech program, like literally Paint. I know, well, I mean, I've got subscriptions to better things like Adobe, but you know what? If it works, like, do it. The other thing is this, sometimes you'll run into, like, your textures will be really high size of files, and so with Paint, the file size is really small, so I can, like, bypass that. Instead of, like, getting an actual shot of something, I just have a screenshot. So that, yeah, I don't know if that's, like, good. It might reduce the quality, but it works for me. All right, I can see that one. Like, don't be crazy. Don't be OCD-ish. But I can't not be. All right, there we go. So I wanted to do this to start, and I wanted to do it in front of you to show you how. And let's just call this, let's like literally call this the vision board. Because it kind of is a vision board for your project. These are all the textures that I'm going to use. Hopefully I don't distort them too much, because this might be, way more stuff on there than I need. But I'm going to save that as a PNG. I'm going to save it as vision board. Here we go. All right, and now guys, we're going to go over to Blender. Now in Blender, you can see I already have an example of a cart that I already made. Yes, I already made it, but I've already improved upon it. I've already been like, no, I need it better than this. Yes, this is going to be an emo, so that's why you see the avatar here. Hopefully this isn't too big for an emo, but we're gonna try our best. All right, so I want this as kind of an example, but I don't want it to be, I want to rebuild it from scratch. So the first thing I'm going to do, also, I have it there for perspective, so I can see how big it is, because I literally built this, when I built it, it was like a skyscraper, and then I just brought it in and like made it smaller so it could fit next to the avatar. All right, so I am in an avatar file, by the way. This is for emotes. This is, I would generally never want to build here, but I am just for the sake of this. Sometimes it can get kind of weird, like if you're adding shapes in, you might accidentally add some keyframes down here, which is, I don't know, so kind of a pain in the butt. So if you were going to really do an emote, I would say build it in a regular Blender file, not an emote avatar file that's already rigged. Or just do it and see what happens. Okay, so here we go. We're going to hit Shift A. We're going to bring in a cube. And we're going to start making this the size of the cart. I am also going to try not to talk too much as I'm building, because I think sometimes the chatter in these videos makes it hard. Like literally I want to get in here and say nothing. Talk like robotic. Like resize, like S, middle scroll key, S, middle scroll key. Okay, and I'm talking. I said I wasn't going to talk. All right. So let me get this about the same size. If it's a little smaller, that's good, because I feel like actually I want it to be a little smaller. Okay. So, before I build the entire cart, you can see this cart is white. I haven't added any texture to it. And because I want to use that vision board to make this beautiful, I could go in and just build the whole thing and then try to slap on the textures. And that would work, but there's a few things that you can do that make it so much more efficient and make it much, much quicker. And that's seeing where the texture fits on your asset before you start doing this, because it's really easy to copy and paste objects. That's how you build quick. You just learn how to copy and paste certain things. But if you have to copy and paste and then go through do the textures on each one of those, it's a pain in the butt. So I would if I was going to make these little flags blue, I would rather make one flag blue and then copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, rather than copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, and then make it blue, make it blue, make it blue, make it blue. Hopefully that makes sense. Like, so as you're learning to build, the more you can front load what you want your asset to look like, the more time you're going to save. And I keep not doing that, and it's driving me nuts. Okay, so here we are back to the learning part. We're going to go down to, we're going to make sure we clicked on our square or cube. Go down to this red globe material. We're going to click New, Base Color, Image Texture, and then Open, and then find your vision board. Where did I put that thing? There it is. Okay, and then you see chaos, madness, not what you want, right? I don't want that. I see a waffle, but I don't want the waffle. I want everything else. So this is where you're going to have to get into the texturing, or the UV editing. It's way easier than you think. So make sure you're clicked on it. Go to edit mode. And then UV edit. And now when you look, you're going to see kind of the cross right here, because you have a cube, which is 6 sides. No, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, 6. Oh my gosh. So you can see why part of it was showing a waffle, part was showing a wheel, then you had some other stuff here. So we have kind of talked about this in the past a little bit, how the first thing you have to do is, well, usually, but I see it's actually doing it. Usually you have to go over here and switch. If you don't see anything, just switch to this mode. But what I want to do is get both of my screens like looking good so I can see both of them. I hear my kitties fighting. I might have to yell at them. Don't fight, you guys, don't fight. All right, so now I can see both of them. And then I have to go kind of do the same thing a bunch of times. Edit mode. One thing I'll notice is this is orange, this is orange, this is orange, this is orange. These are not. This is really important. You have to scroll over and grab the parts that you want to be that color. It's only going to pick up what you tell it to pick up. So make sure all of it is highlighted. Go into UV editing. And this is where you gotta like go fix your screen again. This thing is in the way, so I'm gonna shut that down. It's kind of like a pain in the butt sometimes. All right. So now I'm gonna make sure they were all highlighted, but I'm just gonna make sure they are anyway. And then this is where if you hold down the S key, your UV map is going to change. And you can see on the right side, that is changing with it. Right? And I really, for this cart, I want this shape right here. I want that right there to be my color. Only that, nothing else. So I could make it really small. Right? And now the whole thing is blue. It is blue. There's like some dark over there. One thing to be aware of, like as you're learning how to do this, these are going to show up, these 6 pieces, they're going to show up. But if you go, I want you to watch the top piece. Okay, my computer just does something weird. I don't think you guys see it. So if I'm ever like freaking out making sounds, it's probably because I'm seeing something that you're not. All right, so notice how that right there is suddenly picking up the chalkboard from down here. Even though I didn't go there, I'm way up here. I'm not down there. But what you have to imagine is your vision board repeats. And so it's basically a copy and paste of what it is. So right here, even though it looks like I'm in space, it's actually the same thing as if I were right here. It's starting to pick up that. So just be aware of like where you're at. with those. What I actually want to do is I should probably move faster. No, it's okay. I want to make sure that like the four sides of this are actually okay, my computer has to catch up. I'm going to try to recolor just the four sides because I want that shading. I think that shading that I got, that texture, looks really cool. This is hard to see because there's not a lot of like contrast, so yeah. So sometimes it's like, I don't know, you really have to move your asset around to see where it ends up. All right. So one thing I would suggest, don't move it. Don't do that. See how that's barely a move? That will mess you up so bad. Or if you, I'm going to do this, but I'm going to be like, I'm going to undo it. If you move it like, boom, like that, it doesn't look like much of a change. But if you start like getting way up here, it'll mess you up so bad. So always Control Z to undo what you just did, because otherwise it's gonna drive you nuts. All right. Oh, I can't see what I'm doing. Come on, computer. Okay. All right, but for this sake, we are gonna move it, and I'm gonna try to get it to match up perfect. And yeah, okay. So this is what I want. If this was a real cart, like this one, it's so smart to have an example. I just have to be silly. So like right here would create a shadow. Okay, so I have it. The shadow's here. It's upside down. So I'm just gonna move this. And then right there, I'm not being like fancy. I'm not doing any substance blender or substance painter. I am not baking. I'm not doing anything fancy. And I have a shadow. I call this like my poor man's painting. Like, I don't know how to do all those things, but I can do this. And so that right there is just like, I don't know, my little hack to make it look like this thing is legit. There's sun. There's like, it looks good. But in reality, this is my go around. So I know there's some really talented people in the space that actually can do that stuff, and they're gonna be like, what are you doing? Okay, but the top still looks bad, so I'm gonna grab this face. Sorry, I did that fast. I hate going fast because then people don't follow, along necessarily. What I'm gonna do is grab this, which is the whole face. I'm gonna grab that, and then when I go into UV editing, it's only going to have that one. It should. What? All right. There's something. I forgot how to do something. Literally, you guys. It's so weird. Object mode. Okay, I only want that one, and I guess this is so stupid. I've done it so many times, and last night when I was going to do stuff, I literally forgot how to do it. So now I'm like, what the heck? Why can't I remember that? So let's see if that makes it better. All right. No, because what's going to happen is if I move these, it's going to skew all the rest of it. So, gosh, what is it? Is it like, it's not proportional editing. Okay, I'm going to come back to it. Sometimes I just have blanks that I'm like, what the heck? So just pretend that doesn't exist right there, you guys, okay? And now let's go to the wheels. Let's do the wheels. I don't even know what texture I'm going to put on the wheels, but this part, it kind of would help us like see where the ground is. And to tell where the ground is, I'm going to do Shift A and put a plane down. And that's just like my ground reference. There's a way to do ground reference on an emote, but I want this one to be like right over here where we are. That way I can see, like, are my wheels sinking through the ground? So like that, I should raise that if I was going to keep it. Okay, so a wheel, I'm going to do a cylinder. I am trying to save triangles because on an emote, I have a limit of 3,000 triangles, and I'd like to maybe make this cart kind of cool, so I do want to like, you know, make it fancy. So I want to conserve my triangles so that I can make it cool later. So I'm going to do Shift A. I'm going to do a cylinder. I'm going to click down here. Don't click anything else. Right here at vertices, it's 32, so it's going to make a cool cylinder, but I think I don't need a cool cylinder for wheels. I just need wheels. So move that over here. I don't like rotating it until I'm ready to, like, until I've done my cutting. So don't rotate it until you're done, like, shaping it. That would be my big piece of advice. All right, so, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that this is giant. Just make it small. As long as I don't mess with the proportions, it doesn't matter right now. So I want to cut out the center. We did this a few weeks ago with how to do this with like a Boolean modifier. So here we go. I'm going to Shift D, and that duplicates what I've got. So now I have 2 right here, but I'm not going to like mess with it. I want to make sure it just stays right there. And then I'm going to, I will probably just do this a little bit, make it taller, so that you can see the difference of the 2. And I'm also going to click right here because it makes it so much easier to see. Then S makes it smaller, and right there you can see I have my little, I call it my stencil. This is kind of like a stencil. And I'm going to make it, oops, sorry, I can't see, sometimes I can't see my computer. I'm going to make it about that big. Now you want to have overlap here because you're going to have to see both of them. If I didn't, if it was like this, it's way harder to do. You could still do it, but for me, I like just a little bit of overlap. Okay, so remember, when cutting, always click on the thing you want cut. Just remember that. Because I used to, you know, I still do it. I click on the wrong thing. It cuts the wrong way. All right, so making sure that you're clicked on that, you're going to go to the wrench, add modifier, generate Boolean, eyedropper, cutter, arrow, apply. Okay, and then I can just get rid of that middle. And I go slow because it's like, that was, I don't know, 10 steps. Like, eventually you'll do so much of this cutting, you're just going to be like, apply a modifier, blah, 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 blah. It's second nature. But for now, let's just not get crazy. So, actually, I don't know if it's easier to see. Kind of like that. One thing, if you're blending into the background, like if you can't see, I could remove that bottom, but I think I'm just going to swoosh this over here. And now I want to put the spokes in, and I don't want to rotate this thing, because once you rotate it, it's hard to eyeball it. So I'm going to do as much as I can of this sucker before I rotate it. I could actually make those spokes the same color, but no, I want these yellow, because I want them to stand out against the blue of the cart. All right, so to make spokes, I'm going to do Shift A. I'm going to grab another cube, because cubes are low triangles. I'm still trying to like keep my triangle calories low. I'm on a diet. All right, and now I'm going to make this whatever a good size for a spoke would be. Pull it out. Some of this I'm not explaining what I'm doing because it's like resizing. You can see how I'm going over here to these different tools. This is where just getting in and playing with Blender is super helpful. Okay, now to make spokes, you can do it really quick. I've got this selected. Shift D for duplicate. Rotate it. Eyeball it the best you can. This is not load bearing, so it doesn't need to be perfect. I bet nobody's going to notice if it's not perfect, except for me. All right, and then I'm going to shift and click that one. Now I have both of them selected. Shift D to duplicate again. Rotate, boom, wheel. And you didn't have to make a bunch of those things. and risk them not all being the same. You just use that duplicate key. But, oh, that guy looks like he's gonna, let's see. Alright, that's better. Okay, no, I won't be, I'm just gonna ignore it. I'm just gonna move on. I want to just like tweak it up. Okay, so in order to move the wheel down there, if I grab it and I start like moving it, there's a chance that I might like forget to click one of these. So something like this, I want to join it before I move it. And I want to turn this into one chunk because these never need to move again. Like they're golden. They're perfect. So I'm going to highlight it all, right click, join, and then you can see the dot is right here in the center. That's perfect. That's exactly what I want. But if the dot was over here on the side, I could just right click and then set origin to the center of the mass. If I do that right now, it's not going to hurt. It's just it's going to make the pivot point right there. Okay, let's put this wheel on our cart so we can start piecing it together. Oh my, what a large wheel you have. So just S makes it smaller. Now I can rotate it. But what I like to do is get it right up to another surface because then I can use this to tell me if it's, you know, straight or not. Good enough. I would not be good in like a precision kind of job. I would not be good at that. I like to just eyeball it. And I think these wheels, I think they look good if they're like on the outside. So just a Shift D, I can duplicate that. And then if I click both of them, a Shift D duplicates them again. And this is where I talked about like, don't work too hard. Like just make this stuff easier for you. All right, I'm gonna X, on the ground, I clicked on it, X to delete. Okay, but it looks like it's too low, so now this guy's got to come up. Okay, as long as I have these as separate items, I can still manipulate them and move them around. This cart, I've joined the entire thing, so if I grab the wheel and I start moving it, the whole thing is going to move. I had a reason I did that, but I just, for now, I don't want to join things together. I actually usually end up saving multiple copies of something. I'll have like one that's joined and one that's not, because usually there's something I want to go back and like fix. All right, so that's that far. For our waffle cart, let's see. I want to make. I'm like wanting to grab these and just copy them because it'd be easier, but I'm like, no, I can't do that. So to copy this, I'm trying to like think of how to explain it. I guess I could just add a cube. I don't have to do that. There's no reason to do it. Just a cube. Grab another cube, put it over here, and we're gonna make the structural support of our waffle cart. I can't wait to share my waffle idea with you guys, but I'm waffling on it. I'm just kidding, I'm not waffling. I stand firm in my convictions of waffles. Alright, how big should this be? Maybe like that. Then I'm going to build one side first, and then just duplicate it and take it to the other side. I actually am kind of distracted by the color, so I'm going to make it like that. This, I think, is easier to see so many times. So, let's see. And I don't need to worry about like how tall it is right now. I can always mess with that later. So duplicate, take that over there. Now both of these guys, Shift D, duplicate, move them over here. Okay, yay, my waffle cart. It's coming along. Now I want, like, there's a lip. There's a lip on this cart that I think makes it look very realistic, like that. When I put that there, I was like, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So, to get that here, I could add another cube, but I'm lazy. I don't want to keep doing all that work. All I have to do is click on this one, Shift D, bring it up because it's the exact size I need, and now I just resize it. I'm not lazy. I'm just like, there's just no reason to be like building inefficiently. I think that if you can save time, like anything that you can do that's going to be like the same size, just keep doing that. Find those ways to make your building quicker. All right. Let's see. The top. I love this, but I found I found an even cooler idea, I think, and that is to make it like a semicircle. So I want to add another cylinder. So I'm going to do Shift A, cylinder, and then you'll see it came up with 22 vertices instead of the default 32, and that's because we already told it earlier in this session we like 22 vertices. So it's going to just stick with that, and I think for this purpose that's great. So I'm going to get it around here. Actually, no. I'm not. I'm going to cut it first, because I told you it's better to cut before you rotate, because if I rotate it, it might not be as good. So I'm going to add another cube, and this is my cutting cube. There's always a cube around. That's my go-to cutter. Oh, and I'm going to just throw out as a reminder, it is 9:32 for me. If you are a mobile tester, I think your session is starting. So I thank you for being here, but you should go do the mobile testing, get it all nice and fancy. And thank you for being here. All right, so let's see. I think I want to cut it like this, and I'll show you what I'm thinking. It's so hard to make a decision, guys. I'm like, there's 1,000 designs we could do with this, so I'm like, oh. Sometimes that's the hardest part, is just deciding what you're gonna do. So I'm gonna click on the piece I want. Already on the wrench, modifier, generate, boolean, eyedropper, cutting tool, arrow, apply, and then get rid of my cutting tool. And now I should have a really cool cylinder that it's going to go on the top. So I know it doesn't make sense, like what I'm going to do with it now. I want to make it not perfectly round. Or do I? Gosh, maybe I do. Maybe I do want it perfectly round, or like this. My thought was that I could take the bottom and kind of make them go out to the side. Oh, I don't know. Okay, let's see what it would look like first, and I'll explain it once we're there. So if I want to make a little change on this, and I'll show you what I'm going to do, because I don't think we've done this yet. I'm going to go into edit mode, grab just these little dots. I'm going to click right here to go into transparent. I'm only going to highlight those. Actually, I'm going to highlight this side first, and then I'm going to push this guy out, and then this side, and push this out. And then I'm going to see what it looks like. Go off transparent. All right, so I'm going to do it before I go too far so you can kind of understand what I was trying to do, even though it's not perfect. Go back too big. This is like the umbrella cover. So, does it look... Oh, that looks horrible. Yeah, right about there. I can tweak it. There's so many things, like you can just... You gotta get the aesthetic right. Okay, so this is what I was wondering. Should these little corners flange out, and then I can put like the flags or something, or should they go straight down? I kind of like it like that. I'm gonna leave it for now. I can mess with it later. Oops. But I think that's good for now. All right, let's go see what this looks like. Looking cute! But we need color. I want to make sure we're like coloring as we go. Coloring in the lines. So, I know right now I want this. Oh gosh, look at that shadow, guys. Let's just appreciate that shadow. That poor man's shadow. Alright, so let's make all of these yellow. I'm going to click one and then hold down the shift key. And I'm holding down the shift key the whole time. I grabbed all of those. And now we're going to go back down to material, And honestly, I could just make these yellow. Like if I wanted to just make them yellow. Oh, see, it's not doing it all. That's what, like, you gotta go through it. This is what I mean by, like, if you do one, oh, my computer's being slow. If you do want to copy and paste a bunch of times, you don't have to go back and redo this. And there's probably a way to get them all to do it the same. That's actually a pretty good yellow. I was thinking, there's definitely a depth to like using different kind of materials rather than just these colors that are built in. So I'm going to see what it looks like. This is my base color, but what I'm going to do is click on that, go to image texture, open, and remember we got our vision board. Actually, wait, I don't have to do that. Sorry, I'm being not efficient. I don't want to do that actually. I want to just click right here, material, because that saves the amount of materials that's on here. The route I was just going, it would make it so that there's a bunch of materials, and if you're just putting a build in world, you can do a bunch of materials. There are limits that they've let us go past, but if you're doing wearables and emotes, there's hard limits. So that's where I'm like trying to be efficient about these. Okay, so you can see right there coming through. I'm gonna get edit, UV editing. Okay, and I did have a yellow. I forgot I did have a yellow. This is the yellow I wanted, which is cool because now we can compare it to the other yellow that I added. So if I just make this right there, this is all like pretty much one solid color yellow. There's no shading. It's not going to look funky. So there's that. And let's try that. Let's try seeing what it would look like if I tried to match it in Decentraland. It's like the same, but I feel like, I don't know, I feel like this one's nicer. If I wanted a wood texture on here, that's where it would really be important to use the vision board technique rather than just the principled BSDF and color it. So let's try, actually, I'm gonna do something else. I'm gonna leave it. I'm going to, if I want, this is yellow, I want all these to be yellow. You can see, actually I'm gonna have to go through, I'm gonna either, okay, this is what I mean. If I want to go and do these all over again, I'm gonna have to go material, but then I'm gonna have to go and make each one like that. So instead, I'm gonna get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of this, and then now that this one is what I want it to be, Shift D, just move that sucker over, Shift as I select both of them, Shift D, and move them there. That's what I was talking about, is like, it's just so much easier to do it that way. I would still be editing if I was doing it the other way, and I just didn't think about it ahead of time. Like, I'm still kind of like retraining my brain to not be so slow. Alright, so I want to make a little picture frame in here, because I have waffles I need to sell, and I've 20 more minutes of this that I want to make. I want to make waffles. So I'm going to make a chalkboard, which is a nice square asset. You can see it over here. Nothing fancy, just a square. So I'm going to come over here, Shift A, cube. Now this shows up over there. Make it small. And I'm actually going to go, before I get too far, I'm going to put this texture on it, the vision board material. And then I'm going to look and see where my chalkboard is. So you can see, like, waffles, a special $1. There it is. So here's something I found. I could either rotate in here and try to get the cube to match up, or I could rotate the cube and get the texture. Like the texture's already, it's there. I can kind of resize it, if that makes sense. Because usually what I try to do, what my brain wants to do is always, like when I'm building, and this is my scene, the asset, when it comes up, it's got this face. And I always am like, oh no, this isn't the one I want. I need the thing that says waffles. Well, I could sit there and try to perfect it, or I could just, you know, come over here and be like, left, right. It's like, I'm going to do that a little bit more perfection. But yeah, like it's so easy just to move this instead of moving all the texture maps. Oh, that doesn't look good. And I've done this the hard way. Sorry, my computer's being weird. It only shows, like when I'm moving stuff, it only shows half of it. And then I have to like wait for it to catch up. Like right now I can't see what it's doing. But if I let go, I can. There we go. All right, close enough. So that's what I want it to look like. Waffles, today's special, but you can tell it's squished because that is like a cube, and I made it a rectangle. So I'm going to make sure, I'm going to go into edit mode, make sure I've got everything. UV editing, actually, that's not where I want to be. But I do want to make sure I get my little cute chalkboard design down at the bottom. Okay, see what happened there? That wasn't selected. So I'm going to Control Z. I was late. I didn't select the whole thing. There we go. Okay. And now this one, I think I want the top of this also, because the top of the chalkboard texture has some cool shading that I want to have in there. So here, but you can see it's still barely, it's not like the S is cut off. So I'm going to go to the right. And if I go too far, I'm going to start getting, you know, that white. So I don't want to go too far. Try to center it. All right. Now, to make this look better, I have to reshape it in here because I don't want a square chalkboard. Chalkboards are like rectangular usually. And I should have maybe had waffles closer to the top, but it's okay. Let it go. I'm gonna be like Elsa and let it go. Now I want it smaller. If I go like that, see what happened there? Imagine this is paper, and you're like making it go together, but if you go too far, I just flipped it inside out. Kind of like your shirt, right? Like if you're putting your shirt on, and it's going over your head, but you just get a little too rambunctious. Your shirt's inside out. It's still a shirt. It's just not the right way. So you just don't want to, you want to make sure it doesn't happen, because if it does, I believe that is what they call reversing your normals, and you don't want to do that. This is easy to tell because it's got font, and it'll either say waffles or it'll say Celefwa. That's waffles backwards. But if you're doing it with like a texture that's blue, that would be almost impossible to see. And there's ways to check for it later, but it's kind of a pain in the butt. So make sure you just don't do that on accident. All right, I'm not caring what the rest of this looks like. It's kind of ugly. I want the sign to say waffles on both sides, so I'm going to Shift D. I duplicated it. And now I'm going to flip them around and try to get it as close as I can. Whoa! That's cool. All right, and then I'm going to pull it out just a little bit. Waffles, today's special, waffles. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to take both of these because there's two pieces here. If I click on that side, you can see that one, and this side, you can see that one. I'm going to right-click and join those right away because I want, those don't need to move again. They are perfect the way they are. But I do want a cute little frame on them because We love cute. This is a cute card. This is going to be cute. So let's do Shift A, cube, another cube. Make it small. I'm thinking some artesian upcycled barnwood from Connecticut, like upstate Connecticut. I don't know. I don't know. Probably like something that's been there 150 years and it's got lead paint and it's expensive because the city folk want it because it's cute and worn. That's the look I'm going for, is like expensive barnwood. All right. Oh, and I probably should have looked at the piece first. But I get excited. I want my barnwood. All right. So again, I'm gonna be smart, and I'm not gonna copy a bunch of these until I make this the color I want it to be. Okay. So back over here to material. We're already on it, and we're still gonna be using material 1. And I got that selected. Edit mode. And UV editing, and now you can see our beautiful upcycled artesian barnwood down here. It's probably lead paint, but don't tell anybody that gets the donuts that can be like our thing. All right, so you can see it's going the wrong way. Super fuzzy. We don't like that. So I probably should have rotated this cube before I did this. This should be a show about what not to do, right? All right, so just rotate it here. Even though I told you don't rotate it, you'll see. Like as you get building, you'll be like, this would have been so much easier if I didn't rotate it. Like, why does Knessa tell us to do this? So now I'm gonna basically make these. Just imagine you're building this board for real, and you'd have these long timbers. This, like, the inside one, I don't care what that looks like. Nobody's going to be looking at it. No, but this outside barnwood, I want to look for the knots. I want it to be gorgeous. Yes, I have bought wood before because of the grain. It was teak. It was a teak boat handle, and I was like, I don't know, there's just something beautiful about the grain of wood, so I had to buy it, and I don't know if I ever used it, but look at that. That is gorgeous. Yes, my family are wood crafters. Okay. Alright, probably right there. That looks so good. The other sides look like garbage, but that side looks good. Alright. So now, if I want to fix that, and I only want that side to look good. Let's see if I can do it this time, you guys. Now, all right, click that, object mode, face. Now I only want that face. Edit mode. Oh, but see, these guys are sticking along with it. I don't want them to do that. What? Okay, so normally it doesn't do that, and it did that last night. So I gotta figure that out. But I'm gonna keep moving. So right now I'm just going to Shift D to duplicate it. I'll put it over here. I don't want them all to look the same, but it's the way it's gotta be for now. Oh my gosh, look at that, you guys. That is cute. I would want to buy waffles from this place. And I'm gonna Shift D again, duplicate. Rotate, move it up, and now I've got my little beautiful Parisian artesian organic non-GMO lead sign. Maybe it's not like that in other countries, but in the US, like this kind of wood, if it's like authentic from some, antique place, it's very expensive. I'm gonna duplicate that guy, bring it down, and I'm gonna make it smaller. And yeah, make sure that's symmetrical. And then duplicate it again, move it over here. And there we go. There's our sign. And I'm just going to move it over here. So you can see the one I made yesterday versus the one I made today. Today has all the little cool looking stuff on it. And I'm going to get it like right in the middle, give or take. I'm going to adjust a bunch of stuff at the end. Like, I'm always trying to tweak the, I don't know, just to make it like nice and honestly, just because it's easy to keep messing with it over and over again, never be done. But we need one more serious thing. We need waffles. We need waffles. So here's the fun part. Let's add a cylinder. So Shift A for a cylinder. I think this is a good amount of faces for a waffle. But I'm gonna make it. This would be like a floofy waffle. Down. Small. I never watched Stranger Things until like the 3rd week of December, and so then I had to, of course, finish the entire series. I finished it last week, so I went through 10 years of Stranger Things in like a month. So I have a lot, and I have a deep respect for waffles now. Okay, that looks good. I'm gonna get the texture again, same texture. This is only, or sorry, material. We're still just using the one material for all of these. So once I have that, I'm going to go into edit mode, UV editing. Now you'll see this one is much different than the cube. I'd say if you're messing with materials, play with the cube a lot, because once you get to this, I don't know, just like a little bit more complicated, but in your brain, just imagine doing it with paper. If I was teaching this class in school, and I have taught it in school, back when I was teaching, because I had a 3D printer, and I was trying to teach the concept of like, well, mass and volume and all the fun stuff that teachers do. But with 3D printing, I would have the students cut stuff out on paper first. So even like, yeah, if we were in like a real classroom, I'd have us all like making this shit out of paper, because it would be, I think, yeah, just easier to kind of understand what they're saying about unwrapping. The best example I ever saw was one of those chocolate Santas at Christmas that's wrapped in tinfoil, and they unwrapped the Santa and like laid it flat, and that was like the best way for my brain to kind of understand what UV wrapping is. So you can see I'm like basically looking for a waffle. There it is. And all the movements here are kind of backwards-ish, so you kind of have to just get used to that. There's my waffle. Actually, because I think it's this round one, I want to go up there. It just seems way better. All right, so now there's some stretching that needs to be done. This is a AI waffle, by the way. I thought about just making a waffle. I am actually making I don't know when it'll be done, but my family member, my brother, who's very talented, and he's not like me, he's very particular. He is machining me a Decentraland waffle iron so that I can make Decentraland themed waffles. But since he is so talented, it's still in the production phase, because it's going to be down to like the 16th, of an inch, or probably like 1/1000th of an inch with accuracy. But there you go. I have a waffle. Okay, that was way too much excitement. One thing, actually this looks pretty good, but one thing that I learned from Dr. Drip, and this is like a kind of a game changer for me, is something called specular, that I didn't know what it was about. I didn't understand what specular was about. And I kind of can't really see it right here very well, but it's kind of the reflection off of the top of this. And when he showed me that, it has changed so much. The way I would imagine it is if you wear glasses and your glasses get fogged up. That's the specular. Like right here, I can see there's kind of like fogginess. There's less contrast. So if I take the specular and do like 0, all of a sudden it's super clear. So it'd be like taking my glasses off and suddenly like I can see better. I mean, look at the difference right there. That's huge. So Dr. Drip, brother, thank you. You like saved my butt. Like, it's such a simple thing. That one's kind of overkill. That's like 8. So like 1. I mean, maybe if you want windows or something, that would be good to have. But again, like I put it down to 0, and it just gets that clean butter flavor of the waffle that you want to have. Yeah, kind of crazy how easy that is. All right, so let's see. We got the waffle on the top. I want the waffle on the bottom. So I'm going to go back in. I'm going to see if this works this time. I don't know why I'm like freaking out not working. Like, I really think my brain is doing something weird with me. Do you ever just forget something that you do every single day and you're like, wow, I guess that wasn't muscle memory. All right, so I'm just going to grab all these sides. I'm hitting shift as I go. Now, hopefully, yeah, there we go. Okay. For some reason, it's just been tying all the mesh together. I want these to be like the side of a waffle. And I didn't make a texture that's supposed to be the side of a waffle. So I need to find what's the next best thing. And I'm going to make these smaller. I don't want it stretched. So I'm going to make this really small because then it's going to sort of match the same size. That kind of looks like it. Kind of looks bad though. So what if I tried to catch this like edge? Maybe I should do it where there's less contrast. All right, like right here, but I'm going to zoom way up. And I think you're going to notice it. I think it's going to look bad. Because waffles kind of have that little seam. This is the kind of thing where you could sit here and nitpick the heck out of it, and then you're like, yeah, but the waffle is literally going to be like on a plate, tiny compared to the rest of it. So, I don't know. Sometimes I geek out, and then I'm like, wait a second. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. All right, but the bottom, I mean, I don't care about the bottom, but let's select that. Edit mode, just the bottom. UV editing. This should be easy as just putting it right there because it's already the same shape. I'm not even going to take another second. It's good enough. It's a good enough waffle. All right, so let's put it over here on our cart. It is 10 o'clock, so that is kind of the time that we have. I'm just looking. I think we got all of our textures except the top. So maybe let's texture that and then be done. Even though there are more parts of the cart that I want to do. This is like, I mean, a lot of it is repeating the same thing over and over again. Because we're just, you know, we've got our asset, we've got our texture. If we have to do some cutting is like the same every single time. So once you can kind of get those, you're just using the same thing in different ways now. All right, but let's try to get this top done. Oops, my phone's telling me it's time for a break. I've been on watching YouTube too long. All right, so I got this clicked. I'm going to go back into materials. I'm going to use the same material, material 1. And you can see, that's a waffle. I don't want that. So let's go into object mode. I'm going to go into transparent just so I can grab everything. UV editing, and then I can look at my mesh. Ooh, this one's kind of ugly because I cut it with that Boolean collider or Boolean modifier. Sorry. So this one's a little bit more like, yeah, could be trouble. So right here is the pattern I want, that blue and white, and so Well, part of it is good, except I was thinking it was going to be sideways. So, let's make it like this. I want those stripes bigger. And now let's turn it. Sorry, my computer is being funky. Okay. I'm just going to get half of it to look good. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. She's so cute. Sorry, I do sound effects, voices. I want it to be blue and blue. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. But now that looks like garbage. So the edges I don't care about. Like I think I've got an idea for those. So I'm not worried at all about those. But I want to grab this part up here, and before I do that, look at how close together these guys are. So I don't want to accidentally grab one of those. So I'm just going to zoom in, grab that guy, and now see if I can match those up. And I can't, right? Because I already went out of the line down here. So I'm going to undo that. I'm just going to go back to that. Sometimes it's easier just to like redo it instead of trying to like grab some of those. So, okay, there we go. How's that? Should be all good. Now, go back up and grab these guys. And I'm going to get them to match. Oh, how could you? Okay. All right. See how it's all hooked to each other? Oh, come on. I don't want that. So what I think that is this guy right here, proportional editing. Because when it does that, it's saying like, it's like letting it be affected by all of the stuff around it. Maybe like imagine a planet going around the sun. With proportional editing on, you're going to feel the magnetic pull, or it's like weight painted or something to that. We don't want that. I don't know why sometimes that automatically is on there, but learn that button. That button is so important. It can like make it way better. And I'm like, okay, why isn't it lining up? Because it looks perfect, right? But then if you look down here, this is how nitpicky you have to be. It's, slightly off. So, you are in love eyeballing. Okay, there we go. Is that perfect? No, it's not. But you know what? I'm gonna leave it. I'm not gonna like freak out about that. Maybe I'll just mess with the sides real quick because they do look kind of bad because I haven't put anything on them. So I'm going to just highlight those, go into UV editing. I have a plan, but we're out of time for the plan, so I'm just going to make these guys really small, and I could make them blue, or I could make them yellow. I don't know. Maybe yellow for now. And, and the bottom. Grab that guy, UV editing. The bottom should be probably, well, maybe it would be hollow, to be honest. But let's just make it black for now. So that's where like you have your vision board of all of those different textures. And the entire thing is just made up of those different textures, even though it's all just like one piece. Do the same thing with this. Just move it down. Okay. So there it is. And I want those wheels yellow too. So there's a lot of other parts that I want to add, like the waffle stand or the cart, like the handle, and some accents down here. I'm going to add those later. I am not going to add it as an emote 2.0. I don't feel like I should teach you that. Like, I have struggled with it so much that ESA is a good resource or use the documentation, but um, I think that like I still struggle. I have like a cheat sheet that I have to go through. You guys don't want to see me struggle through that. They're hard. They're hard to do. So just yeah, let it be known. But I think it turned out pretty good. I think that like for 1 hour to make that, now at least you know if you go back, watch through it, you can kind of figure out like how to set up your your vision board, uh, the vision board idea of like having all of your textures on that same one. Um, that you can use like the yellow in the Blender program, or you could use yellow from here, take it from different things. If I wanted slightly darker, I could use this, and then also using that shading. I think that turned out really good right there. But yeah, like AI, all of these were made with AI. So well, this one I like had to put in there what I wanted it to be. But that I think is how I use AI so much, just to create all of these like assets to make it look cool. All right, I am going to jump back into Decentraland. If you guys have questions, if you didn't have it, or like I didn't have a chance to look at it, so let me know if you have questions. MetaTiger, hello. MetaTiger is the master at the beautiful textures. So if you have more questions, talk to MetaTiger. Papa's waffle truck. Oh my gosh, Rustan, are you gonna make waffles? Oh, you have special waffles for your daughters. I make decorative pancakes for my kids every year on the last day, or like the first day of summer break. I'll make pancakes, and they take about 45 minutes per pancake, because I'll make like Elsa from Frozen or stuff. Yeah, so I need to do that. All right, I am just looking. All right, looks like nobody had any questions. Which I think at this point, I feel like a lot of this is repetition, because we've learned, like the first few times we did this, it was very new. So I would suggest if you're interested in it and you're trying to really learn Blender, go back to that first tutorial I did, learning like Blender basics. I think I went slower in that one, and I was very much more concise with what I was doing. I think the further we go along, I'm going to try to keep going slow, but it is going to be, I think we just, you move a little bit faster. And then there's new little things that you learn along the way. So peace. I am so glad that you're here and learning, and hope this helps you, learn Blender a little bit. Textures should be square, at least 2:1 aspect ratio. I don't know. I like MetaTiger. What happens if they're not? One thing I've learned is don't freaking change. You don't resize your texture. Like, whoa, you saw my mouse jump there. That's how traumatized I am. I used to have some images up in La Cantina that I did that with, and they looked horrible. So that is one no-no, is you don't change it. But yeah, I don't know. For this, it's worked. Once I get this like in world, then I'll see like, okay, is it like, are the textures coming through okay? Or are they all distorted? But so far they haven't been distorted too much. All right, any other questions? Otherwise, I'm gonna let us go. It's how GPUs work. If it's a power 2 size, the texture gets interpolated and looks blurry. MetaTiger, I think that's what I must have done back. It was during, gosh, it was like the CBD festival a year and a half ago, and I didn't know that. And so all the pictures that I put in, they looked super blurry. But now I don't mess with it, and I don't resize it in the UV map part. And so far, so good. Pretty good. The specular, though, that No, still not. Thank you, MetaTiger, for that. Alright, you guys. Let's go have a good day. Keep building cool stuff. If you have questions during the week, let me know. If you want to like learn something specific here, like let me know during the week. I'm gonna try to keep making stuff that's relevant to us in Decentraland, but some of it might be like it. You might be like, I don't know, like it's not something I want to learn. So if you want to learn something specific, like, hey, let's make another emote, or let's make those lasers, or show us how you made the palm tree like sway in the breeze, or make the umbrellas move, or why does this basket have a weird handle? Because Canessa reversed the normals and didn't fix it. She didn't know what normals were when she made it. Or how do you get the blanket to go over the rock? Or how do you make sandcastles? Yeah, if you have something specific, let me know and we'll get it. And I should fix that basket. Yeah, MetaTiger, best is to have a square piece of paper and leave the areas you don't need black or transparent. Yeah, totally. Okay, you guys, have a great day. I'm going to see you around. I'm trying to think of what else is coming up today. Toxic Tuesday, a little bit later. And yeah, hope to see you guys all there. And grab your OP badge. Yeah, grab your OP badge. Don't forget it. And then I will show you my plan of Waffle domination, hopefully soon. So have a good day, you guys. Take care, and I'll see you in Decentraland. Bye.